All right. Hope everybody's doing good. I want to welcome Missy Reber to our call. And there's April. April actually knows Missy and got us hooked up with team calls. So I'm super excited that she did that. But Missy is a wife, and how many years? 14? 15?
14. Oh my gosh, it's a long time. I feel old.
She's a mom of 4 who she homeschools her 4 kids. She's a 9-star, 2-time elite coach, and she is going to give us some insight tonight on some things that work in her business and that she's going to share with us. So go ahead and take it away.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here. It's so fun to come onto other teams and just feel other people's energy and their vibe and just kind of spread the message of my story and kind of how I run my team and get my coaches motivated. So I know for my team, they get sick of me talking at them all the time. So sometimes it's nice to have a fresh voice and fresh perspective. So it's fun to do a call for such an awesome leader like Stacy. You guys are really, really lucky. So I hope you guys know how blessed you are. So tonight I want to talk about inviting. I know you're going to be like, oh, right. I know you've heard about inviting a million times. But I want to talk about the basis of how I built my business and how I built it on love, really, and really creating solid foundation of connecting with people, and that goes with my coaches as well. So I'm hoping I can paint you a different picture and help you look at your invites a little bit differently tonight. So for those of you who are not, or maybe pushing for Success Club still, guess what? You still have tomorrow. So I'm going to give you guys some things that you can do. Like, you can get off this call and apply to your business like in an hour. Okay. So get your pencils out because I'm going to break down my system for you. So first of all, I want to tell a little bit about my story. I have been a Beachbody coach 3.5 years. After my 4th baby, I had postpartum depression really bad. And my husband was in graduate school, and I had 4 little kids, 7 and under, and I was just drowning in my life. I'm actually a registered nurse. So I was working nights, juggling a newborn, and my husband gone all the time, and he was stressed. Anyway, my life was insane. And I don't know if most of you are religious, but I am. And I was just desperate for something. And I remember hitting bottom, and just my little girl was in kindergarten, and she was dragging me out of bed every day. Mom, get out of bed. You have to take me to school. And that's just not like me. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do something. I can't be this. I can't be this. And so I just begged God, and I was like, show me the way, tell me what to do. And the answer to my prayers was, get up and work out. You have to do something. And I was like, oh, that's not the answer I wanted. So of course, in all good logic, right, I was up in the middle of the night nursing my baby, and I watched an infomercial. And guess what I bought? Insanity. I was like, that Shanti guy, he knows what he's talking about. So I do not recommend Insanity to 6-week postpartum moms. Do not do that. But that's where I started. I grabbed Insanity. I tell my challengers all the time, I cried through probably the first 2 weeks of workouts. I had to talk myself out of a panic attack every time I went to press play. I would just put my little baby on the ground, and she would cry, and it didn't even matter. Because I would just look at her and I'm like, no, it was fighting for my life at that point. So I lost my 40 pounds of baby weight. I did 2 rounds of Insanity. Took me an extra week each time because I would miss a day or whatever. But I came out the other side, and I came out of the dark, right? I found myself again as a mom, and I did it all by myself. In fact, my parents, nobody knew that I was struggling so much. And of course, because I'm freaking stubborn and I had to do it by myself, right? Don't do that either. But so I came out the other side, and I was just on fire. And I just thought, man, like if I was that person putting on a happy face for everyone else and struggling in silence, how many moms are out there in that same position that don't have someone to help them get through that? And so it was at that point that I put together this group called Rockstar Moms, and it was on Facebook. I wasn't a coach, and I was just like purely doing it to help people. And so, cause I'm like, dude, I need someone to motivate me. So I was running this group, and that's where my coach found me. And she's like, you need to be a Beachbody coach. And I'm like, what is that? I'd never tasted Shakeology. Anyway, long story short, I told her no 7 times. It's like so embarrassing. She kept asking me, and kept asking me. And finally I was like, you know what? Fine. If I help one mom get out of that hole that I was in, then it would be worth it. And like my husband laughed in my face. Like he's like, you hate selling things. Like you hate it so much. Like I don't understand why you want to do this business. And I'm like, I don't either. So I had no idea what I was doing. I was completely computer illiterate, like doing a Zoom call, like I would have never known how to do that. And I just jumped. And I jumped because I thought, you know, gosh, like if I could just help one person, it'll be worth it. And I set one financial goal, and that was I just wanted to quit my job. Like, and I was making like $500. No, I was making like $1,000 a month as a nurse. And I was like, gosh, if I could just drop a few shifts and just quit just for the last year of my husband's grad school program, that would be worth it. And so I just started, and I tell my new coaches all the time, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was terrified. I remember sitting at my computer the first day I sent out an invite. That's my phone talking. I remember sitting there and I was like hyperventilating. Like, okay, I'm going to send a message. I'm going to do it. So as I talk to you tonight, I want you to understand that that is where I came from. So if I can go from that, like shell-shocked, terrified, completely computer illiterate coach to an elite coach, good heavens, like every person on this call can do that, okay? So I like to tell the basis of my story first, because it's really easy to look at coaches, you know, who are elite and be like, gosh, well, she knows how to do everything. Well, I didn't. And I was the most terrified, stubborn new coach you could ever have. Like that was me. Okay. So how did I get over it? Like, how did I push past that fear? Like, and it was fear. I mean, like some fierce fear of talking to people. How did I get over it? And I'll tell you, it was this moment where I read one book, and it's called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And my upline, Brigida, gave it to me as a prize. It was the first month I hit Success Club, and I like got a prize, and it felt so good. So she sends me this book, and I'm like, ugh, it's about sales. And I'm like, I'm not reading it. I am not reading that book. So it sat for a while on my dresser, and finally I was like, okay, fine. You know, like when you have to like report to your coach if you're doing your personal development. Well, I was failing at personal development. And so I kept having to tell Brigida, oh no, I'm not doing it. That's hokey. She's like, I sent you the book, read it, right? Oh, did someone ask what the book was called? It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. O-G, I know it's a weird name, Mandino. It's so good. You guys should read it. It's also it used to be on Audible. It's not anymore. It's only on Audible in Spanish. So unless you speak Spanish, but weird. I know it's weird. Anyway, so I read this book, and I like people too much, like, and I take a little bit too much responsibility for everyone else's feelings. But the beginning of my business, you know, it's like all gung-ho. I remember T25 came out, and I was all excited about that. So I was able to share that. But when it came down to it, like I had this massive fear of inviting people, because I was afraid I was going to, like, I don't know, hurt their feelings or bother them or annoy somebody. Heaven forbid somebody think I'm annoying or something. Like, I was terrified of what other people think. Okay. And that's like a whole nother call. like letting go of all that crap. If you need a book for that and you haven't read it, I'm going to tell you one. Go get The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. It'll rock your world. So there you go. There's another PD book for you. Anyway, so I read this book, and it's like these 7 scrolls of wisdom, right? And if you learn all these things of wisdom, it's supposed to turn you into the greatest salesman in the world. I'm like, okay, well, let's give it a shot, right? So what blew my mind is the first concept he teaches. Now, this is supposed to be a book about sales, right? The first concept he teaches is love, that you have to do everything from a place of love. And I thought, oh my gosh. For the first time in my business, I thought, that's like the only skill I know how to do. And that was just the truth. I'm like, gosh, like, is that all? You just have to love people? Well, I can do that. I knew how to do that. And I was like, okay, I can love people. Therefore, if that's the most important thing, I can be the greatest salesman in the world. And I grabbed hold of that concept and I ran like mad with it. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how you can fall in love with inviting, okay? Because that's all you need is a heart to love people. And that will push you through your fear. So I want you to hold on tight to it, and we're going to move forward. Okay, so why do we invite? Okay, we invite because for some reason or other, you guys are here because this has changed your lives. Okay, for me, it literally changed, like saved my life. Okay, it pulled me out of depression. But maybe it's just giving you a sense of purpose. Whatever it is, your life is better because of Beachbody. People need that. And the truth is I think sometimes we get caught up in the sale part and we get caught up in, oh, I'm selling Beachbody. But what you're really doing is rescuing people. So I told my team this the other day. I'm like, you are the hero of your business. Your secret weapon is Beachbody, okay? But the real thing you're selling in your business is not products. It's you, okay? You are what is valuable, and you are worth 10 times, 100 times the value of a challenge pack. So I was that coach. I'm like, oh, I don't want to ask people to buy a challenge pack. It made me like so uncomfortable until I realized that, you know what? I believe in that challenge pack. It changed my life, and I'm going to help you change your life. It's worth it because I am going to help you. So I tell this story to my coaches. When you get this fear of inviting, I want you to think of this one thing. When someone drowns in water, if any of you have lifeguard experience, you're going to know this is true. They don't do what they do in the movies. Okay, they don't like flail their arms around and scream and yell. Okay, that is not how people drowned. When people are drowning, they just silently sink under the water. So that's the truth in real life. Okay, people silently suffer because we live in a world where nobody likes to admit that they have problems. Okay, we just post our highlight reels on Facebook and nobody wants to admit that they're having a crappy couple of months, right? It's just the truth. And so people just are silently suffering. So if you were standing on a dock, picture this. You're standing on a dock and someone, 10 yards from you is drowning in the water. Are you going to put one toe in? What are you going to do? You got to ask yourself that question. So you have to look at inviting this exact same way. You have to say, all right, those people out there within my sphere of influence, within the reach of my Facebook page, there is someone who is drowning and I can't see them. So I better jump in. Stop waiting. Stop putting your toe into your business. You gotta fly off the dock, okay? So this is how you fly off the dock, is you're driven by that desire to rescue, to love those people, to throw a lifesaver, okay? And your lifesaver is what? It's your secret weapon. It's Beachbody, okay? All right. Now that you have a sense of purpose, how do we actually do it? How do you actually send an invite to someone? I'm going to teach you my system, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have this entire system on YouTube, okay? If you go to my YouTube page, I have an invite series, and I break it down like piece by piece by piece for you. So if you want to watch the whole chunk at once, I have a video. It's so old, so don't laugh at my grainy video. But it's called Breadcrumbing, and it's in my YouTube files. So I'm going to walk you through it, the short version. So when you're inviting people, I want you to start from that place of love. And I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to say, if that person were drowning in front of me, would I message them? Yes, you would. You absolutely would. Because that's who you are. If you're a coach, you're a rescuer. That's just who we innately are, okay? So you have to be vulnerable, okay? And you have to go for it. So the first thing I teach my coaches to do, this is the most important habit of your business, okay? Repeat that. This is the most important habit of my business, and it's not the direct invite. It's the reach out. This will change your business if you will do this every single day except Sunday. Okay, I take Sundays off. So this is what you do. You send, hey, how are you messages every day in your business. What are those? We call them reach outs, and they are the precursor to an invite. So if you want to grow your business quickly, send 10 reach outs a day. Set your limit to 10 and send 10 reach outs a day. What in the world, Missy, do we say in a reach out? Super easy. I teach my coaches, use the time of year. Okay, so we're going into October, right? So it's super easy. Kids are going back to school. People are getting ready for Halloween. Then guess what comes after that? Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. You always have something to talk about. Super easy. So send a message. Pick someone off. I recommend that you print off, unless you're using something like TeamZ or whatever, print off your A to Z friends list. And there's also a video on my YouTube of how to do that. So print off your A to Z friends list and hold your own feet to the fire and say, doesn't matter, I'm going and I'm starting at A. And every single person on that list who's not a coach is going to get a hey, how are you message from me. And if you hold your feet to the fire and you do 10 a day, you're going to be shocked how fast your business grows and how much easier it is to hit Success Club. Okay, print off your list, sit down, and you're going to send this message. Ready? Hey, this is Missy. I haven't seen you in 5 years. How the heck are you? Are you ready for Halloween? Guys, that's not hard. Or if you've already know the person, be like, hey, it's Missy. How have you been? Are your kids all settled back in school? That's it. That is like short. It always ends with a question. The most important thing you could ever learn about messaging is you always end every single message you ever send to your coaches, to anyone, even to your family. End it with a question, okay? So you leave it open-ended. Why do you end in a question? Because they feel obligated to answer you, right? Okay, so you're going to just send, hey, how are you messages and start 10 conversations a day, okay? Then just have a conversation. Open your ears and listen, okay? Be real with these people. Share what you're doing in your life. Continuously ask them questions. Does this take a little time? Yes, it does. But this is what's going to happen. You're going to build a foundation of trust in a relationship. So then what do? You're talking to 10 people a day. You're sending reach outs. You're having conversations with your A to Z Facebook list, okay? You're adding new people to that A to Z friends list every day, okay? So you're having these conversations. I recommend that when you add people, once they accept your friend request, they go on your reach out list for that week. So that like you don't just add them and then you don't talk to them for a while. Just add them and then message them, okay? So you're doing these reach outs and then you need to invite. So this is where a lot of coaches get stuck and they go, oh, Missy, I don't want them to think that I just messaged them to invite them to something, right? So I know that a lot of people freak out about that, but ask yourself, are you or are you not inviting this person out of love? Yes or no? Yes, yes you are. And you're going to stand in that and you're going to hold on to it and you're going to invite them. I don't care if it was the girl who was wickedly mean to you in high school. I don't care if it's your 50-year-old neighbor down the street. Do not prejudge people, okay? I'm going to apply this to Jesus, okay? Did Jesus prejudge who he loved. No, he didn't. Well, guess what? You don't get to do that either. So you send messages to everyone and you invite everyone because everyone can benefit. There's something for everyone. So we're going to send a message. So how do you do that? How do you craft an invite that is both personal and powerful? Well, I already taught you one skill, right? You come at it with a sense of love. And two, you're going to ask a question. So it goes a little bit like this. I refer to inviting like a sandwich, okay? Eventually, you need to get the whole 6-inch or foot-long Subway sandwich in the person, okay? You got to give them all the information. But what happens if you just shove all the information in someone's face? They're not going to answer you. So you got to learn to breadcrumb, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do, say you've been talking to this person for a while, right? And you have to shift gears. Sometimes they're going to just ask you and they're going to be like, yeah, I see you posting about workouts all the time. What do you do? And you'll be like, oh, I'm a Beachbody coach. I coach these groups. Do you work out? Okay, so that's like a natural progression. And that happens sometimes. But what do you do with those people who you like start a conversation with and it just like kind of goes dead and there's nothing left to say? You invite them. So this is how you do that. You send them a message and you be like, hey, it's Missy. I know this is really random, but I'm putting together group X, Y, and Z. And I would love to have you join me. Okay, so what did I do right there? I made it about them, right? I'm like, oh gosh, like I would love to have you as part of my group. Like I want you in my life. Doesn't it feel good when someone like invites you to a birthday party and you're like, oh, I got invited. Okay, like that's all this is, guys. Okay, so don't freak out about it. You got to just say, hey, I'm doing this group. I don't know. Like use non-threatening language. Be like, I don't know if that's your kind of thing, but I would love to have you. It's going to be so fun. Show some excitement, guys. Be like, it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. Don't explain the group because then you're just using too many words. You've got 3 sentences. Hey, how are you? I'm putting together a group. I would love to have you. Then you ask the magic question. Ready? Is that something you might want to do or might want to try? I use the word might. Okay, because let me teach you, all you're trying to get here is a maybe. That's all you're trying to get. You're not going to get you don't want to force a yes right away. You want a maybe. And then they're going to be like, oh, she's not forcing me to do anything. All you're saying is you're putting out your hand with a birthday cake in it and saying, hey, you want a piece of cake? Right? Like, that's it. And what's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no. That's okay. We're going to talk about that too. Okay. So you send a very simple invite. You say, hey, is that something you might want to do? And then you're going to get an answer back. And they're going to be like, well, what is it? Or you're going to be like, yeah, maybe that's something I want to do. Okay. Doesn't matter what you get back. If they show interest, if you get a maybe, that's your green light, right? But you can really screw this up. Okay. And this is what I see a lot of new coaches do. They're like, oh, they want to join my group. And then they just give them the whole rest of the sandwich. Okay. Don't do that either. So this is the time if I were in front of you, I would hold your little face and I'm going to teach you something I do not want you to ever forget. Okay. Yeah. Shannon put her face up there. Okay. All right. Repeat after me. This is not about me. Period. Okay? When they send that message, it's super exciting, right? Especially as a new coach, you're like, yes! They're interested. They want to do my group. And you get all excited. And you should be excited because you're going to change that person's life. But you cannot, please do not give them the whole Beachbody sandwich. So they're going to say this. They're going to go, yeah, I think I might want to do that. And you're going to be like, do your little happy dance, okay? Then take a deep breath. Tell yourself, this is not about me. This is about them. And then you're going to ask them this one thing. Tell me about you. Be like, I would love to have you. That would make me so happy to have you in my group. But, let's back up a minute. Tell me about you. That is the most powerful question you could ever ask someone. Why? Because this is what you want. Okay, you want their story. You want what they're struggling with. So often when I get that reply, I say, okay, tell me about you. What do you want? Is there a goal specifically that you want to work on? Have you been doing anything for exercise right now? I ask those questions, okay? And then they're going to sit there and they're going to be like, God, what do I want? Okay, and this is what you're doing, is you're connecting them to you and your heart and building a connection before you sell a dang thing. Because you're not selling the challenge pack. You're selling you, okay? You're bringing them into your life, your Beachbody family. It's a big deal, okay? So take the time to ask them what they want, because then their heart is going to start running, right? And their heart will overpower their brain every single time, okay? So then you're going to get you're going to get their story, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what? I am struggling to lose my last 10 pounds of baby weight. I'm struggling. Or they're going to say, oh, you know what? Like, I've just been so depressed and I can't get back going again. Or I'm just so busy, like I can't find time for anything. Okay, now you have their struggle. And you're like, literally they have fed you their vulnerability in their hand. So this is the moment that will make you a great coach. What you do in that moment when they give you their story, what are you going to do with it? Two things. Relate and validate. Okay? You have to relate to these human beings. Okay? They're humans. They have struggles. They have lives. All people really need to know as a coach, you are not a fitness expert. You are not a nutritionist. You don't need to be. What you are is their hand to hold. Okay? You're that person who's going to lock arms with them and walk forward. Okay? You don't have to know everything as a new coach. You just have to be willing to lock arms with those people and walk forward together. That's it. Okay? So this is where you do that. You get down with them, you sit down on the ground and struggle with them, and you say, I get it. I've been there. And even if you haven't been through the exact same thing, there is some level of human suffering that you can relate to, okay? So get down there and be with them and be like, you know what? I get it. I've been there too. Share a little nugget from your story, okay? And then now all of a sudden, they're going to look at you and they're going to go, you know what? She gets me. She understands me. And then you get to do something so powerful. You get to say, okay, I'm here with you. This is hard, and we're going to do it together. This is my favorite thing to tell them. I say, let's make a plan. Let's make a plan. And then they're like, okay, I can do it. And they have hope. You showed belief in them. So then you make a plan, and then you get to use Beachbody as their solution. I guarantee you, no matter the problem, there is something that works for everyone, okay? A mom with back pain can do PiYo, okay? Someone who has never exercised before can do 21-day fix. The crazy fanatic runner that you live down the street from can use the Performance Line and Body Beast, okay? There is not one person on this planet that this does not benefit. I want you to really let that sink in, because it's true. And so trust it. And then this is what you do. I teach every new coach this. You make a plan for them and you say, okay, we're going to hit all the bases. We're going to find you a workout that fits with your goals and your life. Then we're going to give you Shakeology, which is going to fill in all the gaps of your nutrition. It's going to make nutrition brainless for you, and it's going to jumpstart your journey. Okay? Jumpstart is a great word. I use it all the time because people are like, oh, that makes sense. Like Shakeology is a jumpstart. Okay? It's just like it's like putting the reset button on your nutrition, and it's brainless. Moms need something that's brainless. So, okay, so then explain to them in a simple way, okay, we're gonna find a workout that works for you. We're gonna use Shakeology once a day to jumpstart your nutrition, and then we're gonna put you in a challenge group so I can help you every single day, okay? And then they're gonna be like, okay, that's a plan. It's a solid plan. And then you get to ask permission, okay? You lay it out there and you say, can I send you some videos of workouts that I think might work for you? And then they're like, okay, you're asking permission. Okay, remember that just because it's a Facebook message, it's their life still. Okay, you're entering into their life and their heart and their struggle. So ask permission. And so I always say, hey, can I send you some workouts I think would work really great for you as a solution? And then, of course, they're going to say yes. And then you get to send the videos. So if you have not used the videos in the back office, please do. They're in the video library. You click on products. They've got a video for everything. But this is what that does. It saves you from giving too much sandwich, okay? Because so many times we're trying to like describe PIO or we're trying to describe 21 Day Fix. And guess what? You're just not as good as the little infomercial, okay? I don't care who you are and how long you've been a coach. Like I use those videos every single day because they're powerful and they like draw out people's emotion and excitement and you don't have to describe it. So it's less work for you. And any new coach can do that. So if you're, a diamond coach and you're teaching your new coaches, empower them with those videos, okay? So then you're going to send the videos and then you're going to follow up. So I usually like to say, okay, here's these videos and I will follow up with you tomorrow. So I tell them when I'm going to follow up with them and then I follow up with them. And then you follow up and you can just ask, what did you think about the videos? You don't have to like worry about like figuring out what they think of what you said. You're just asking what they thought about the videos. So then you get to answer questions and then you sell a challenge pack. Okay. So what happens when you run into, we hate these, right? Objections. Okay. People are like, oh, when they go, it costs too much or I can't do it right now. So you're going to go back to the two things I already taught you. Well, three things. You're going to start from a place of love, okay? Then you're going to relate and validate to them. So how many of you thought Shakeology was expensive? How many of you didn't like Shakeology at first? Anybody? I have some of those on my team, okay? Shakeology, vanilla Shakeology made me sick at first. Anyway, long story. But here's what you need to do. Like they need to know that you understand their struggle. Same thing. So you're going to be like, okay, they're going to say, oh, it costs too much, right? And you're going to be like, I totally understand. And then they're going to be taken off guard because they did not expect you to say that. And then you get to educate them, right? You get to say, I totally understand. This is kind of an investment in you. I felt that way too. So first you validated them and then you're going to relate to them, right? You're going to say, I felt that way too. And this is how I look at it. I stopped going to Starbucks and spending $5 a day on my cafe latte. Or share whatever it was for you. For me, I often say, I felt that way too. But Shakeology has been that one thing that I do for myself when my life is too crazy to worry about my nutrition, right? So then they're like, oh, that makes sense. So share a little, when they tell you no, it's too expensive, relate to them and just be like, I felt that way too. And then just be like, so let me know what you think. Okay, leave it open-ended. And then you can message them back and be like, so say they just say no and they say it's too expensive, right? And you said, okay, I can understand that. But this is why that I love Shakeology, but I get it, right? Right before your group starts, you message all those no's and you say, hey, I know you were worried, about the cost of Shakeology, but I just really think this group would be great for you and I would love to have you. Let me know if you change your mind. I'm going to close out my group tomorrow or whatever. Give them another chance because sometimes what happens is they sit and they stew about it and they change their mind. But they will often feel like they'll feel bad and they'll be too embarrassed to say something to you. So don't forget to follow up with those people in a really nice way. Be like, yeah, I know you said you couldn't do it, but I just wanted to check back just to be sure. I didn't want to leave you out. People don't like to be left out. So that's another powerful thing you can say is, I just wanted to be sure because I didn't want to leave you out, right? They're like, oh, you thought of me. You didn't want to leave me out, right? You care about that person. So you're going to give them a second chance. The other thing you can do, this is called positive peer pressure, is I always do a last call on my Facebook page. And then I tag people who are in my group, and then they're like, yeah, I'm so excited. And they're all commenting. And then the people who said no, often will message me. I almost always get one that's like, okay, I'm in. Because they're going to see all those people and they're going to be excited. And they're going to be like, oh, I said no. I kind of want to say yes. But your last call post always gives that last person a chance to change their mind. So what if you just get a no? Like, no, it's just not my thing, not right now. This is going to change your business too. How you deal with the no is a good projection of how your business will grow in the future, okay? Because every single no is a no, not right now, period. You have to treat them like that. So if they flat out tell you no, I want you to love the heck out of that person. This is where your love comes in, okay? And you just say, I get it. It's not a good time for you, or I get it. I know money's tight. It's Christmas time or whatever. Like, be warm and be relatable and relate and validate them even when they tell you no. And just be like, I get it. And then just be like, you know what? I run these groups every single month and they make me so happy. So guess what? I will be here. If you ever need me, please let me know. And if you run free groups, like I usually run a free group every month, I take these notes and I say, and you know what? Like I'm running a free group in a couple of weeks. You can do that if you want. I would love to have you. So then they're like scratching their head because they're like, man, I just flat out told her no. And she's like still being nice to me. I don't get it, right? But when you treat people like that, like human beings that you care about, that you love, like your family, and you say, okay, like I know you can't afford Shakeology right now. That's okay. Love you anyway. I've been there. I'm doing this free group. I'd love to have you. And they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And then you know what? Then you do the free group. And then you invite them to their challenge group again and be like, hey, I just wanted you to know, like, didn't want to leave you out. I'm doing another group in case you want to join. And guess what? They will join. They just will. And the circle goes round and round. Because guess what? Here's the great thing about, like, when you love people, it just expands, okay? You never run out of that. It just grows and grows and grows. So you can love everyone. That's just what you got to think. And you just be like, all right, just pull another one into the circle. So sooner or later, they're going to want to be in your circle. Like, it's just how it's going to be, because your circle is going to grow bigger and bigger. And that influence of love that you have over people and the way you treat people will run through the veins of your entire business. And if you look at my team laughs because this is how I brought my entire team to my team. And in fact, when my team messages me, do you know what the first thing they say every single time? They'd be like, hey, Missy, how are you? Because it's my coined phrase. I'm like, if you're not asking every single person that question, you're failing your business. Like, you're doing it wrong. Okay? Like, do not talk to anyone unless you ask that one question. Okay? Goes for your coaches. Like, if your coaches are struggling, stop telling them what to do. Just ask them how they're doing. And then listen and sit on the floor with them and get vulnerable and suck it up and love them. Okay? And it will run your business. So, all right, I'm going to take questions because that's pretty much all I have. Okay, how are you keeping track of your leads and your customers? Okay, so I was a pen and paper girl for a very, very long time. I'm not super organized. Just not. It's not my strength, but I will tell you that I use Teamsy now, and I love it. It is hands down worth the $30 a month, even for brand new coaches, because you can upload all your back online office people. You can upload all your Facebook friends once a month, and it will automatically cancel people out. It was built by a coach for coaches. So I think it's really great. My coaches who are struggling to be accountable, they honestly really love it. I have a brand new coach right now that's using it, and she's killing it. Like, she's a mom of 5, you guys, and she's like the most amazing mom I know, and she's rocking the Teamsy. So, but don't be afraid to just use pen and paper and keep a list of notes. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody who you think would be a good coach, my team knows this as the dream team list, but you make a coach prospect list. You start it, those people in your brain that you're like, oh, I really want them on my team. You write their names down, you invite them, and if they tell you no, you leave them on your list forever. They never come off unless they like hate you, which they won't, because now you know how to invite people. So you're good. But then you make that list and you keep it going. And having a no list is super powerful. So someone tells you no, you put them on your no list. And it's so fun to watch people come off that no list. It feels so good because you're like, yes, I'm doing something right. When they're coming off your no list, that means you learned this concept. You learned how to turn a no into a yes because you cared. And you're consistent. When you show up on Facebook, sooner or later, people are like, oh, I really should message her because she's been there for 3 freaking years, right? Like, so that helps too. Consistency helps. Any other questions? Anything? Did I get them all from here? I think so. All right. You're muted, Stacy.
Sherry, do you have a question?
Oh yeah. If they join a free group, do they come off the no list?
No. They only come off the no list if they buy a challenge pack. So, because then they are your true customer. But don't give up on those free group people. And something in your free groups that will help you is my free groups. Like if you have those perpetual free group people, I definitely have those, and that's okay. I am very consistent in that when I run a free group at the end, I make a live. I love live video now because they can feel your energy live. So get in your groups and just be like, hey guys, thank you so much for joining my group. Thank them, love on them. And then just be like, this is what's next. I'm running a 30-day challenge group. I'd love to flat out invite every single person. And then after your free groups, I message everyone and I just be like, hey, it's Missy. I just wanted to see your thoughts on the group. I'd love your feedback. And so I don't go straight into a direct invite to those people. I ask for their feedback first, right? Because then they're like, oh, like I did a plank group, for example, and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore. Like, from doing planks for a week, and then it's easy. And you just be like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Look at your fitness growing. Like, what goal are you going to work on next? And they're like, oh, I hadn't thought about it. Or, gosh, I'd like to lose 10 pounds. And then it's just like, you just slip it in and you're just like, oh, well, you know what? I would love to help you. I'm running this group if that's something you might want to do. Like, and so it just becomes a very natural flow of caring for that person. And they never feel forced, ever. And so it just naturally flows. You're welcome. Anybody else? You guys are like happy people. I love it. You have like happy faces. Makes me happy.
Anybody else have any questions?
No?
No?
All right, now you all are inviting masters. Get to it. Go send reach outs.
Thank you so much, Missy, for your time. And I will see you in 15 minutes on your call. All right. Guys, have a good night.
Okay, bye. Bye, guys.